wrestling, and it's been a little while, guys. I had a toothache situation going on. It kind of fucked up the last few weeks, but antibiotics have brought our podcast back into the light of day, which is awesome.
It's a miracle.
Yes, it is a miracle of science. And with me this week, for the first time this week, but always also with me, is Mr. Justin from In-Ring Art. Woo! What's up, Justin?
Thank you for the welcome. Glad to be here with my kids screaming in the other room playing Minecraft.
They're having fun, though. You know, let them have fun.
It can be that intense.
Maybe they'll see you in the background and they'll be like, you know what? I want a podcast one day. And they'll become way more successful than us.
As intense as a War Games match.
Whoa! Don't bury the lead, brother. We'll get
Segue.
We'll get into it. And that's really the main theme. Actually, tonight is we're going to review, and we never really do. Is this? I don't know if this is. We might have done a Royal Rumble, right? I think
we did wrestling and the Royal Rumble as an episode, and of course,
but I think we did all the Royal Rumbles. Yeah, we did the history of the Royal Rumble. We didn't review the Royal Rumble. No.
I know we've talked about, as kind of side notes, WWE shows and current stuff. And, of course, the basis of all the stuff we do is from, watching that stuff when we were kids and up into our launch back in.
Yeah, well, I was gonna look up every episode we did, but yeah, we generally review New Japan and AEW. Don't really get to review WWE too much. There's a reason for that, and in fact, parts of tonight made me remember why. But parts of tonight were like pretty cool, and thank you for actually sitting down and watching it. So it sounds like you were actually kind of excited to watch Survivor Series tonight, eh?
Yeah, I mean, the War Games stuff, and I haven't really been watching a lot of. Haven't really watched WWE. Like, sat down and watched Raw or SmackDown. I can't even remember the last time. But I always usually, when there's a pay-per-view and stuff, I usually tune in and check out some stuff, at least in the background.
I can't watch Raw. First of all, Raw is 3 fucking hours. I cannot watch that show, dude.
If I do, it would be like the Hulu cut.
The Hulu cut, the YouTube clips. WWE probably doesn't love that. I know there was one point where they have bad ratings and they started delaying their YouTube clips, but the thing is they show the end, they show the finish on YouTube, so it's like, why not just watch it there?
Yeah, it's out there for sure. Like, you could probably spend you can probably just go on Raw. I mean, during Raw, just go on Twitter and you'll be able to feel like you're watching it.
Yeah, actually, honestly, dude, at 9 o'clock on Mondays, I usually just go to the Wrestling Observer. They have a report, so it's like, and then from there, you're saying, like, oh, I should watch this. But most of the time, it's like, okay, same old shit. But obviously, it's a different era now with Triple H, and that definitely showed tonight in a few ways. But before we dive deep into that, so you were not able to watch the historic crossover?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, and you know what?
Wasn't savvy enough.
I wasn't either.
Didn't pay the money either.
Which is, well, it's kind of weird that neither of us watched it because we both love New Japan, and this was one of the biggest New Japan shows in a while. Does that mean that we're not Stardom fans? I don't know. I just didn't get to it. I'm still interested.
No, I want to watch it. I'm just not. I'm not a fan of paying.
Okay.
Outside of my monthly. Dedication.
$10.
Yeah, my $10 a month and all my streaming. I just am totally anti pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I guess.
Well, and we both know that there's no possible way to watch it unless you pay money.
No,
so.
But I think you got to look a little deeper to find that stuff. Maybe it's not on the usual places you'd go. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways.
Well, it's good to know that you spend that $50 every 3 months on AEW instead of watching it somewhere weird. But anyways, yeah. The crossover show, I didn't get to see all of it. I still want to watch it. I watched some of the Stardom show the night before. which was actually the main events were actually pretty damn good. I saw Saya Kamitani versus Kairi, which was a pretty exciting match, actually. Saya Kamitani, just one of my favorite wrestlers right now in the world. And Kairi is Kairi. She played heel in the match, but the finish was fun because this was for the... Now, if we flash back to our Wrestling and Stardom episode, do you remember the white belt?
That's kind of their Intercontinental, right?
Yeah.
Their red belt's their top belt,
Red
and then
belt's
there's
top,
the
yep. The white belt
have,
is their secondary.
The white belt, and then they have a high speed, and then they have like kind of a young wrestler belt, right?
Yeah, and I saw the high speed match. I didn't think that was as good, and usually that's a great match, but it was not on Gold Rush. But Kairi versus Kamitani, I recommend people watch this one and the one after, which was Shuri versus Hayashishita. And I didn't see that match, but people were comparing it to Omega Okada, which is wild. So,
I hear a lot of good things about Hayashishita.
Especially some people say Hayashishita. I say Hayashishita, but
I think that's what it is.
They're both awesome. Yeah, they're both awesome, and they have this incredible rivalry. But the Kairi versus Kamitani, the finish was great. It was, I wrote it down here. Kairi went for the insane elbow. Kamitani got the knees up, which is not comfortable. Like, when you do an elbow and you get the knees up, because that's kind of awkward. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I would think so.
Usually you do like a splash and you get the knees up. So
right.
She went for the insane elbow. Kamitani got the knees up. And then Kamitani put her in an armbar. Kairi rolled the armbar into a pin. We had a 1, 2, and the bell rang because the time limit was reached.
Wow, okay, clever.
Yeah.
Time limit draw.
Kind of a Okada
finish.
versus Tanahashi finish from back in the day with their like G1 stuff. But yeah,
right.
it was pretty awesome time limit finish. So it wasn't perfect looking stuff, but that was a mistake. But it was pretty damn good. So I liked it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect.
1 second, real quick. I have to unplug my keyboard for reasons. I have another one though, so it's okay.
Okay, get rid of that crappy keyboard.
Okay, yeah. So, as I unplug my keyboard, and I accidentally unplugged the wrong thing here. The other thing I wanted to ask about is if you can still hear me, right? We're good?
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you.
The other thing I wanted to ask about is if you were able to see the Jericho versus Ishii match.
I did see that.
You did see that?
Yes.
What'd you think about
Very
that
good.
one?
It was great. It was good.
I loved it, dude. It was so good.
Jericho was just, unbelievable. And of course, if she is the barometer, if unless you're totally disinterested and have no idea what he is or who he is, you can't have a bad match against Ishii. So
yeah, no, I agree. I thought they, dude, even for an Ishii match, this match was so good, dude. Now, do you think, the way I do you think Jericho actually cut his chest? Because I think he cut his chest.
Yeah, I think you can. There was a way of kind of pre-blading, for lack of a better term, where you can kind of
because he fell into the corner though, and then popped up with the blood.
I don't know if I would. I know there's ways they kind of just soft cut their head, so when you punch it, it comes out. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to kind of, soften the skin or something, but I blading on the chest has got to be. I don't know.
Is that not normal? You could scar up there maybe because there's more fat and stuff. I'm not sure.
I know. There was somebody or Dusty or maybe Brody or somebody that used to cut their arms all the time.
Really?
I mean, to me, that just seems like a heroin addict just trying to find another vein.
Seriously, dude. Wow.
That seems kind of ridiculous, but I mean, it worked for the match. I mean, for sure. And Jericho is one of those guys like that's gonna try something new, and it's like he just keeps coming up with new stuff, right?
Yeah. No, dude, he's like, I don't know how this dude can peak his career late in his career. I guess he was in WWE for most of his career, but artistically, he's just at another level right now. It started with him going to New Japan, and now he's just killing it. And he's a champion again, too, which is, it's awesome. I love this guy's
And
career.
no one's like, well, I mean, you probably have a few people, but there's no one saying, oh my God, he can barely move out there, or like going out there like Muda, or, he's still, not a lot of people are saying like, look at him out there, he looks really pathetic, he can barely move. No one says that about Jericho. I mean, he's still doing lion salts and all that stuff, and,
if
he was
anything,
never
people
like,
are saying like how awesome he is.
Yeah. I mean, Jericho never had the most like, sculpted physique. He was always
True.
like muscular, but not like
maybe back in like the
ripped and cut.
mid-90s, he was pretty. Who knows what he was on?
Right, but he was never what you would call a body guy.
No, definitely not.
So, and he's able to kind of go up and down with the weight. Lost all that weight recently. It's almost like he's an actor that can put on weight for a role and stuff like that and take it off easy.
I made a comment on our podcast that I do have to take back, which was that I was saying that, he lost all this weight, but he gained the weight for a different thing, and he does that stuff. And I did find out later that no, he did actually lose a lot of the weight because of his medical thing. But you're right, like an actor, he can do that. Like, he has the control. He has that self-control where he can be like, okay, I'm going to lose weight now, and just do it,
Yeah, well, he's an athlete. They're athletes, so...
Yeah.
they can
Athletes and
change
performers.
their lifestyle, and they have resources to do it,
Definitely. By the way, fans listening, I apologize for I hope I did good here, but I just spilled my drink on my keyboard. It only hit the right side. So I unplugged it, and it's over there. And I have a backup wireless, so we're good to go.
Hopefully it's just water or something, and not
it wasn't
something sugary.
It wasn't just water. I'm going to probably have to clean it out with alcohol later. But we're good. We're good. We're totally good. Okay. We're on track.
Well, you got a backup.
I've got a backup. Happy. I got my wireless that I use when I'm in bed. Anyways, yes, that match was really good. And, it was really good. Like, I watched it, like, twice, dude. I was like, fucking Jericho. And, of course, Ishii. He's, like, one of the best of all time. Now, this is not about AEW. AEW just had a pay-per-view, and we haven't talked about it, but it's okay, because tonight we are going to talk about what William Regal would call War Games.
Yes.
By the way, do you think, would William Regal be working in WWE if he wasn't in AEW? Would he be back? I was just thinking, right? Like, I was just thinking that today.
Not even a second thought he would be there right now. Probably in a capacity he was similar to before, which is basically, scouting. And
he might be, but right back in NXT. Yeah. Honestly. He might be, but right
I wouldn't
back
rule
there.
it. I don't know what his contract looks like at AEW, but he's in a top main event angle now. So on screen,
Well, which is cool. Like, they're using him. He's awesome. A career heel who is now a heel again. So it's like, maybe it makes sense to slot people, what they're really good at.
But then again, he probably is happier being... I don't know what his deal is, but he was obviously heavily behind the scenes with NXT and just in general with their whole talent pool. He was at a lot of PWGs and just going through all those indies, scouting people out. And
I remember when he was at the what's that show called? Bloodsport. And him and Moxley were there, actually, together.
There's probably... a lot of, any of those geez, anybody from 2014 on, maybe even a little before, William Regal was plucking off the indies and going to see, right? Everyone from Seth Rollins to Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and
Sam
Kevin
Shaw,
Owens,
Samuel Shaw,
Sami Zayn.
Do you know who
All those
Samuel
guys.
Shaw is?
Isn't Samuel Shaw the guy with the mustache? What's his name?
Dexter Lumis. Yeah. No, yeah.
I mean, he was probably out there, you know.
You're right.
He was scouting.
Not to get too deep into AEW, but I'm sure Tony Khan would definitely use him for that after his on-screen role gets played out. So, yeah. But War Games tonight. Speaking of old Regal, there. Overall, the show, I thought it had a few pretty damn good matches. I'd say it was pretty entertaining overall. I had fun.
Yeah. Definitely. I also feel like I knew when Triple H kind of took over that the product was going to get better, but it was going to take a lot of time.
Well, it's still going to take a lot of time, right?
It's still taking time, and I think it's definitely a little, you get an idea of the storylines and everything, and it is better. I still haven't watched NXT in ages, so I don't have any comment for that.
I watch it here and there. It's good. It still has a lot of the NXT 2.0 shit. But there's improvements, there's pluses and minuses, ups and downs. It's definitely not 2015 NXT, not even close.
Yeah, but it's not where you go for 5.5, 6-star United States matches. That's for sure anymore.
Yeah, but all those guys from 2015 NXT are main roster now, So that's another thing. Like they just had this amazing group of talent there, but yeah, we could talk more NXT and stuff. We have done our episode. By the way, go check out our past episode, guys. We have so many. We've got it's become a wrestling library. You can learn so much. We did wrestling. There was NXT.
Actually, I forgot to send you this, but I'm going to shout it out now.
Okay.
Somebody was mentioning to me that they were going to check out our backlog.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I was going to tell you, Justin. You did a cool drawing for that guy. Right?
Yes.
And I was kind of hoping he would respond to me so I could be like, go check out our podcast. But
right,
he didn't respond.
Somebody said they were going to... I think it might have been him. But anyways, it was him, wasn't it? But
okay. We're talking backstage business here, but maybe we need to... Maybe I need to print out some wrestling and cards that you can throw in your packages.
Yeah, maybe that would be good.
A little extra.
I did get actually that drawing. Got one of my most likes on Instagram, but also I had somebody kind of a little bit of a hater that I had to interact with.
Of course, you get those. What did
every once in a while, but they went pretty deep with me, and they were taking out a lot of frustration.
Dude, I was called racist by doing the New Japan rap. And when I posted a picture with me and my black girlfriend, he was like, yo, I got a black girlfriend. Everyone says that. I'm like, what? I'm not racist.
But this person was like I get this a lot, which is, it usually doesn't go very far, but it's like, looks like a 10-year-old drew this, right?
But you know that.
And I know that, so basically my response is pretty standard usually, more or less, does mental age count, right? And then this person kind of went after me like, you should check out much better drawings done by more serious artists who struggle to get their work out there. The fact that your childlike art is gaining more recognition is an insult.
Oh my god!
It just comes off like you're mocking real artists and giving them the middle finger is what I was getting at.
He must think that you're totally self-unaware, Justin, that you have no...
Well, I was going to say, like, you've never heard me on anything then, I guess, but... Well, that is definitely not the case. That's how I responded. I really took the high road on this because I do feel that way too. I said, well, that is definitely not the case. I started this during the pandemic because I was stressed, worried, and I loved wrestling. I always wanted to learn to draw. and just track my progress. But people started following me and even buying my drawings. Art is subjective anyway, right? Yes. And he's like, well, that's cute and all, but you need to understand that there are many artists more hardworking who struggle to gain followers. Think about it. And I said, I understand and totally respect real artists, but you're saying I should stop posting, drawing, and selling my drawings and supporting my mental health because better artists work harder than me? Right? I mean, that's... And he said, no, but understand you're not the only one struggling with mental health. I know a girl in New York who just had photo ops of a lifetime with AEW or whatever, and just goes on to say that, she wasn't appreciated by the wrestlers or whatever, and that she's really good. And I said, he says, I do acknowledge that other people struggle, and I feel bad for her. I'd love to see her work. I'm not sure what you want me to say. This is further than I usually go to interact with people who disagree with me on social media, but I appreciate you offering me another perspective, and I hope you have a great day. Just kind of end it, because, I'm not going to really get into it.
I'm about
and then
to.
He kind of... but he's like, likewise.
Miss Fiend, I'm not going to say his name. Don't say his name. Don't say his name, John.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I should jump into the conversation then?
I mean, it's all right. I mean,
okay, you got this.
But he did say, likewise, I can understand I come off as a dick, but I'm blunt, and you handled my criticism well, so I applaud you for that. You don't need to say anything. I'm trying to help my friend. It just sounds like he feels sorry for his friend, and he just, there's no reason to, I think what it was, what's his name shared it, Trent. And so he probably saw it from when Trent shared it in his story, and it's like, obviously I don't want to do this, but if he was going, and my wife was mentioning, well, why doesn't he go after the wrestler that shared it rather than you? Because, he should be giving that same lingo to him, saying, you should share artwork of, people that actually try and not this crap, rather, you know what I mean? Why go after me? But, anyways.
Yeah. I'm going to say you got this, because I want to jump in there, because if he's brutally blunt, brother, I can show him a little more than that, but okay, I mean, I'll let you handle it. I just think
we have to understand he probably had a friend that he really feels bad for, and he saw someone like that, and it triggered him a little bit, and he's just sticking up for his friend, so I'm not going to, whatever.
I think he might not understand, does he even realize, that you do this stuff 99% or 90% for fun? I mean, you get clout and stuff, but it's not like you're getting 10,000 likes an image,
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing is I sell maybe a drawing a month, lately, on average. And it's not like I'm putting my kids through college with it or anything. Relax,
Well, there are wrestling artists who make pretty good money and stuff that So I don't. Anyways, when did you do the Thunder Rosa face paint? Hang on.
On my face?
Yeah.
My wife did that.
That was pretty cool. I just missed that.
That was for Halloween.
Okay. But, well, shout-outs to him because, you know what, Justin, it sounds like you handled it very respectfully. Good job on that. Because when you get a hater, sometimes turning them and recognizing that they're going through something is a tough thing to do, but it's usually what's happening. So...
And that's exactly, and I just politely said, hey, we disagree, but I'm not, I don't really go far. I'm not going to, change anyone's mind or anything, and just wanted to let him know I have felt that way. I know that I do see people that are really good, and I'm like, man, I'm not as good as these people. I mean, I do go through that in my head, but I don't see why that should stop me from putting stuff out there.
Yeah, totally. I have the same
and
thing
if you ever hear me on an interview or any podcast, I'm very self-deprecating and self-aware.
Yeah, but guys, stuff, you don't realize he makes fun of himself way more than you can make fun of him.
Yeah.
So, come on, guys.
So yeah. Anywho.
Yeah, we had War Games tonight. It was actually Survivor Series. Notable that we got no Survivor Series matches. So, it's a Triple H thing.
Yeah, I think because you know what? The problem with these Survivor Series Raw SmackDown stuff the last few years is that there was
that's what they've been doing. Yep.
There was no incentives and Raw wins, now what?
If I remember last year's was particularly no build type of thing.
I always had the idea that if Raw wins, they should get the last 5 spots in the Royal Rumble, and if SmackDown loses, they should get the first 5. I always thought there should have been some kind of stakes or incentives to winning or losing the match, but there never was anything, and the bragging rights don't really mean anything either, because they would always have those kind of build-ups where they would attack each other.
Well, it's especially weird because nowadays SmackDown and Raw don't really care about each other at all, and also like people jump back and forth. So what would make one group even feel, I guess, patriotic or whatever towards their home? You know, there's nothing.
Like I said, it would have to be some kind of incentive. Like we want those last 5 spots in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, well, and even then, it's like, okay, now, though, they're all against each other. But, I mean, it does make more sense, but you're right, incentive. Like, give them something.
It's enough to them to rally around each other to know that they're getting 25 through 30.
Yeah, they're getting something, you know, or whoever wins gets to have a tournament to get the number 1 contender, something like that.
Right.
Yes, but
there has to be some kind of incentive, but... Anyways, that's why I think the War Games, it's still a multiple-man match.
Yep.
And I think I know that there was some hesitation for it to be on the big brand. I'm pretty sure Vince didn't like the match.
I don't think he did. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, he does Elimination Chamber, which is, you know, not... It is pretty different, but, like, it's gimmicky
It's a you know, a first cousin of it, you know. It's definitely in the family. It's definitely a spin-off of what...
It's kind of cheesier than War Games, though. I mean, when dudes are in pods and just sit there.
With light-up pods.
And then, like, the pods break on accident, and Mark Henry and Dolph Ziggler has to tell everyone what to do. So, so we did have the War Games matches, and... before the War Games match, now we had the decrepit Ozzy Osbourne doing a bad lip sync of War Pigs, something I noticed. Which
I thought
good for him that he's
sick
there
now and everything. Yeah, I thought
Parkinson's?
good for him. Yeah, I thought he was pretty much done from doing stuff, but good for him if he's not.
Good for him. Got a little extra money on top. And little different, though, because WWE has, historically, they use kind of young, up-and-coming musicians. So this time we're going for the old-school musician, but it is a song that everybody knows. So
I think that's one of the... Yeah, that is kind of true. Usually with the theme of everything else, isn't SmackDown's an AC/DC song?
SmackDown is AC/DC, but for the pay-per-views, they're usually kind of more unknown musicians. Or not unknown, but like popular.
More pop, yeah. Actually, the complete opposite. Unknown by people our age.
Popular, but not necessarily on the radio and stuff like that. Like a little bit underground. So I thought that it was a little cheesy. In between the lyrics, they had WWE sound bites. So he's like, oh, and then Bianca's hair whipping. Anyways, that's
I mean that's how you work it in. So
yeah. So I wrote way too many notes for the War Games match. I don't usually write notes for matches, and I'm learning. I wrote way too many notes, so I'll just go through this here, and you can cut me off if you want to comment. I gotta say, I don't like the women's announcer. I don't like the announcer that much. I don't like her that much. What do you think? Do you have an opinion on her?
Who's the women announcer?
I don't know her name, actually.
The ring announcer?
The ring announcer, yeah. She has this really intense growl. It's
I know who you're talking about. I have a...
Like, it's just this...
I'm pretty...
Are you ambivalent?
I'm ambivalent to it, yeah. I mean, doesn't she sound similar to, what's her name?
Lillian Garcia?
No, when Cody's wife used to, Brandy Rhodes.
No, because Brandy kind of does the Justin Roberts style of the following, you know, that kind of classic professional style. And
I know what you're talking about, though, but no, it's fine, I don't care.
This lady does this just growl that. I will say she actually had she looked very good tonight. She was all dressed up and definitely looked great. So I hope she improves, but I think they like her growl. That's a nitpick that I'm not a huge fan of. Nikki Cross is back, by the way, to being an unhinged crazy person instead of the superhero, right?
Probably a good idea, and that's definitely probably a Triple H thing.
It's better than Nikki Ash.
I think that's one of those things where you knew it was gonna flip, but you can't just all of a sudden make her. I mean, a Vince thing would have been just make her show up as the old character one day out of nowhere.
Well, that is what happened. That is what happened. She just showed up as the old character and interfered in a match. But
she still went on to be Nikki Ash for a little while after Vince left. It wasn't like, I mean, I think he's just kind of has a list of things he wants to change, and he's doing it one by one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably. I just wonder, is there anything else to do with this character, this girl? Like, I never really was a huge fan of her insane, unhinged, and
I think her best stuff was when she was Insanity, right, in NXT, and she had that match with Asuka, that last person standing match. That was really, really good, actually.
Okay, I'll give you.
I think when she was a part of Sanity, I think that was her peak.
Well, the one thing I have written here is that she has a cool theme now that is a kind of a remix of the old Sanity theme. Now, the old Sanity theme was great, but the new theme is a Sanity style, and I like that. Right. Good on them. Maybe Eric Young can get in on that. So, Damage Control, I love their entrance, by the way. When the three come out. I've seen it live. Very cool, very cocky. EO is just such a good heel. So, just wanted to say that. So, Dakota Kai and Bianca, they started the match. Generic stuff. We had some back and forth. Io Sky came in next. And the first part of these War Games matches are a lot of just like people coming in and beating each other up until... I thought this women's match, the first, as people were entering, was kind of boring. I just didn't see a whole lot of crazy stuff happen as they were entering, until the match actually started.
I was a little distracted with certain things going on around here at that time. But, it was fine. I mean, it's funny that Dakota Kai's probably been in about 4 or 5 of these by now, it feels like.
They said that Io had been in, I think, 4. Io Shirai had been in 4.
Dakota Kai's got to be right there, too.
I don't know about that, bro.
She was at the one I was in, that I was at in 2018.
She was in that one?
Yeah. She was that might have been around the time she turned heel. If she didn't she might have turned heel in that match, actually.
Dakota Kai honestly never had really a big presence in NXT. She was just in there for years and years, but I don't remember her.
She was always like a Bayley clone when she first came up,
Well, yeah, and she looked totally different. I really love her look now with the
No, she totally transformed it. Yeah, she went from the pigtails to that. Even Bayley, I mean, as a heel, a great job. Yeah,
definitely. And I have written here, when will Io do a moonsault off the cage? We knew it was going to happen. It was only a question of when. Nikki Cross came in, multiple kendo sticks, trash can lids. The fans are yelling, "We want tables." She doesn't grab one, and she gets booed for that, which sucks. You do what you're supposed to do, right? And you get booed.
Yeah, I mean, match like that, you got to do what was planned.
I had written here, we're at the point in the match now where people go to sleep. People just pass out and take a nap. Multiple women just passed out napping while others fight.
There wasn't as much of a, we'll talk about that main event later, which just had a really good kind of storyline throughout. I wasn't really watching the build, but the build for that main event and the story for that main event was very, very a simple story that was easy to catch on.
Yeah, that story was awesome, and yes, easy.
Yeah,
and it was explained throughout the show. Probably one of the better stories in wrestling right now. Very
Absolutely.
good. Very good stuff. So Alexa came in, did the hot tag type of shine. I liked her gear. I'll say that. She had new gear. And I'm sure a lot of people had new gear that I'm kind of missing. But I liked Alexa's gear, although didn't really do a ton in the match. Wasn't one of the highlights, but she was there. So Bayley comes in. Now she grabbed 2 ladders. Crowd loved that. She powerbombed Bianca into a trash can lid in the corner. And Damage Control set up the table and trapped Bianca in the corner. So Bianca's trapped in the corner, unable to push a table. And she kind of got put in there. Mia Yim. What did you think about Mia Yim? I haven't seen her in forever.
She was released and re-signed, right? She was one of those.
This is Keith Lee's wife.
Yeah. Always liked her. She also used to date Eddie Kingston, I remember as well.
What?
Yeah.
Do you know who's dating Eddie Kingston now, I believe? Because this is the gossip hour.
No.
I thought I heard that he was with Ruby Soho.
Really?
I thought I had seen something like that. Anyway, yeah. But
interesting anyways. So, none of our business, but
yeah, no. Exactly.
I remember first seeing her probably in 2015ish when she was 2014, 2015. She was in Impact as part of like this stable called the Dollhouse, where she was basically dressing like a squirrel girl every week.
Oh boy.
And they would come out to that song by Hole. What song? Doll Parts, which is a great song.
For those that know the song?
Yeah, they would come out to that.
You sing it for us, or?
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Google it. It's worth it. We don't want to get taken down. If I start singing it...
Nah, dude, we're not big enough for
flagged.
Copyright. Yeah. If we are on YouTube, though, like some of our episodes, so you're right, we could get... If you sing it, like, really, really well, like, it'll get flagged. So...
yeah.
By the way, the announcers were not sure what her name was. Did you notice that?
Well, they were... I recently heard that she took on...
She changed her name and then it moved it back.
I don't know what they're doing with her, but she looks great, and she's she's pretty talented. So, and she's in the OC now, right? She's with AJ Styles and
I think
Gallows and Anderson.
I think they brought her out to go against Rhea.
No, she's literally in the OC now.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. They needed a woman to beat up Rhea.
Right. But she's like in the group, in the stable. It's not like a guest or anything.
I like it. I also,
which is cool.
I also like that she's wearing like kind of legit wrestling gear now. Whatever that means. Look what John Moxley wears.
Yeah.
No, she wore baggy pants before, dude, with like a street look.
Kind of the Lita look.
Kind of a little bit different. More like, she's from LA, right?
Tail.
And she had the
not
whole
the whale tail.
Yeah, she kind of had like an LA street look with the bandana.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And now she still has the bandana to kind of give it the old have the like crossover there, but she's got like legit wrestling gear, and so it's Mia Yim. I wrote down both names. She looked pretty good in this match, actually. So excited to see her.
No, she's a really good wrestler, and she was in those Mae Young Classics and stuff like that. That's when they first started using her. And no, she's legit and deserves to be there for sure.
I agree. Now, I started wondering at this point if the clock was gimmicked, because the clock would just disappear. Now, I know you didn't sit there with the stopwatch, and neither did I.
No, but I know that they did manipulate it a little bit with the men's match, at least, I could tell.
What they do is they just, if they do a spot, they have to do a spot, they just turn the clock off. Or they just hide it,
Or they just let something play out, and they're like, okay, listen, we got to kill some time. Let's take the clock off, and we'll just put it up with a minute left.
Or 10 seconds. They do the same thing with the Royal Rumble every year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, kind of, you have to. The other thing is that I thought this, again, more nitpicks here, but hey, that's why people listen. I listened with headphones. I thought the ring was kind of mic'd pretty badly. I was hearing spots called constantly over my headphones. So maybe it's because I wore headphones. Most people watching on TV might not have noticed, but just a little nitpick there.
Just wondering how the ring was wired since there was two. I don't know.
I know. I'm thinking, does WWE... I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, they got their 2 rings they use for touring. Is that the 2 rings they put... Whatever. WWE probably has 10 rings in a warehouse in Connecticut.
Or they just find a ring in any town and they can dress it up.
Well, they've got to use their material because their rings are different, I believe. I know that WWE uses actual twine for their ropes. They're like the only company.
They probably have one in storage at multiple locations in the country.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. New Japan, they'll just use whatever, you know. They'll just be like, all right, whatever's in New York. So Rhea Ripley, she had pretty cool gear too, wearing kind of shorts this time. Came out and she beat everyone up. The crowd was not amazing for these first when the women were coming in. I thought like the crowd was, it was like I don't know if it wasn't mic'd well, but like I wasn't hearing them cheer really huge for any one lady.
Maybe they were. It seemed like they were a little surprised that they were leading off with that match.
Well, it's Triple H now, so he's going to lead off. Well, you're right. Yes, you're right. They might have been surprised.
People are probably still getting their seats and all that stuff. You know.
That's. Well, they had the pre-show, but yeah. But you know, Triple H, he does that like Tony Khan style. Well, he was doing it before Tony Khan, where he always starts with a fucking awesome match. You know.
Starts with something hot. No, I think I remember the other War Games matches. They've always let off with something hot like that, or the War Games match themselves. I don't remember.
Well, and NXT takeovers in the past, in general, like you always started with the hot match.
Oh yeah,
but and in fact, this kind of felt like a takeover in the sense that there weren't that many matches. Of course, 2 of them were War Games, so they each took like an hour, basically. But
yeah, it definitely had that feel to it, and I think overall their pay-per-views have been a lot more since Triple H took over. Have been a little more streamlined and compact for good reason.
Yeah, they have been. But I was just thinking of Full Gear, which I think had 13 matches. So it's like... And honestly, the pay-per-view did go 3 hours. Right? So...
Which is kind of the sweet spot. I don't think you want to go any longer than that. 2.5 to 3 hours is good for a pay-per-view, but 3 seems to be the standard.
I want it to be that way. And of course, you get your WrestleManias, but... and your big, you know, whatever, your big Wrestle Kingdom, that's fine, but, you know, crowds get tired too. So this one had a fairly good format to get the crowd hot by the end. So eventually we had Becky come in, weirdly, again, with the crowd. When Becky came in, I thought it would be a huge pop, and it really wasn't that big of a pop.
Was she out for a while? Did she get hurt?
She's been injured since, what was their big outdoor show that they did? SummerSlam. So it was she like separated her shoulder when she went against Bianca. So
I guess I didn't realize that. Okay, I knew. Okay, because right, she's back. Okay, that was the return. She's on that team.
And she's babyface, by the way, too. She was healed forever, which another Vinceism that's being reversed, right?
Yeah, that they did a really weird stuff with Bianca and her with that really short SummerSlam match last year. And see, that's the kind of stuff where you have to really, you know, almost break it and build it up again. I mean, I think she's a better babyface, but then she really did that man stuff well with the broken nose thing, which kind of happened by accident that they really could have ran with, but then they kind of abandoned it, right?
She seems like a really good, like, kind of tweener, the edgy baby face, you know.
Yeah,
I think
right. Kind of like her, you know, in a way like her husband, right?
Yeah, well, but I will say this: she used to be one of the top acts in the entire company, and she's not anymore.
She was arguably at one point. She was the top act in that company at that point.
Yeah, so be a good idea to get her back on track. The first, of course, I wrote down Becky kept calling Bayley a little bitch, which I thought was pretty funny. First near fall was a riptide to Becky. Asuka saved her. And then finally we had Io climbing to the top to do her moonsault. This was weird. they didn't let her do it, and they had like a clusterfuck in the corner, and all the ladies were in the corner, and I didn't know the point because they just let Io climb to the top, and she hit her moonsault on Bianca and Mia. Great moonsault as always. So cool spot.
One of the best, yeah, in the business. That moonsault.
Yep. Although there's some pretty funny botch videos of her fucking it up that are pretty entertaining. Nikki finds so we had a little thing between Nikki and Alexa, which I want to bring up. This is part of the whole show too. Big deal here. Kind of something Hunter's doing, which is that acknowledging the past, right? Like something they had not done.
Yeah, they were a tag team. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like before the joke always, or the saying was always like, they don't respect the fans. They think you're idiots. They think the fans have a memory of 1 week. But we had a lot of acknowledgement. In fact, even Michael Cole had mentioned Sting's team from the early 90s War Games. So, but...
Right. I mean, just even with the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn stuff, that was 25 years, And
then
right?
you had Sheamus and Roman Reigns going at it, and they brought up, do you remember when Sheamus cashed in on Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
And so really cool that Vince isn't in their ear, and they are actually able to acknowledge, no pun intended, the past.
Right.
So, Nikki, but Nikki and Alexa both, like you said, the tag team before, and they did a little handcuff spot, which kind of put them out of the matches. She dropped Nikki. Oh, they both hit the trash can. So Mia Yim put a sleeper on Rhea. Rhea backpacked her into the ladder. Brutal spot. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That one probably hurts. That'll start hurting tonight.
That'll start. Yeah. Io and Dakota get put on the table. Becky Lynch climbs to the top and does a leg drop onto both women. I thought that for this match being, average, the finish was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it was. It was really good, actually. I remember the other women's ones being better, but this was definitely perfectly serviceable. But yeah, maybe it dragged at the beginning.
Yeah, and it is like a 40-minute match.
Yeah, I think you had a lot of people that maybe hadn't done one before.
True.
That were kind of hanging around. And then also you had someone returning as well that hadn't had a match for a while, and all of a sudden they're doing a War Games match. That's probably a lot to take in as well.
I thought Becky did look pretty damn good, though, and that
for
finish,
sure, yeah.
Like, dude, the leg drop onto two women on the table, that takes a lot of trust and balls, so she really is the man.
Definitely. Good return, and we'll see what they do with it next, I guess, or maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see if we continue to watch.
I think we will. We'll probably see Becky on Friday.
Finger on the pulse, yeah.
Yeah, so after that we had a break. We had an entire commercial about Brock Lesnar for some reason. I guess there was a couple commercials here just to be like, hey, guess what? This guy still exists. So...
zoned out I was. I didn't even really realize it. So.
I'm sure, dude, this is when people go to get their beers and stuff,
This is, where the difference with New Japan and WWE. New Japan does really good packages. They just don't use them for every match. It's like as soon as those people are out of the ring, the other match, the music starts. That's
AEW
flows.
Pretty much as well. They do some video packages. The thing is, though, you got to understand is Peacock, if you pay $5 a month, has commercials, right? So they have to have commercial spots. And the bullshit part is that if you pay $10 a month, instead you just get commercials for WWE.
Yeah, that's pretty much the
Same thing. Roman is shown backstage with Jey Uso. Jey is telling Roman that Sami cannot be trusted. He's nervous and says that Sami is the reason that they recently lost. Jey says that Sami is... again, not to be trusted. And Roman says that he'll find out what the truth is. Paul E. Dangerously is in the back looking creepy as hell. And he's got a sick smile. And Sami is called into Roman's dressing room, which we will get to later. AJ, now this is when I started taking normal person notes. So AJ versus Finn, what was your impression of this one?
A really good match. I mean, I wouldn't call it something they would do at Korakuen Hall or the Dome or Edion Arena, but it was really good.
Or maybe
I like
Shinkiba first ring.
Yeah, I mean, I like Finn's new look with the sculpted beard and the Jordans and the some
pants.
Kind of flag hanging out of his pants.
I like that too.
I kind of dig it. I'd like to see a demon worked into that at some point.
Yeah, he's probably done with that, bro. Unless he's going to win the championship.
Make him into a Malachi Black kind of thing with that group. But Finn looks great for 40, and AJ Styles looks great for 45.
Finn is 40?
Yeah.
My God, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. He looks incredible. His body is like one of the most sculpted in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Him and Show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it was good.
I wouldn't call this match really good. I thought it was better than okay. I thought it was good. The sentiment that I've been seeing online, and the thing I very first thought was the thing that you said at the beginning, which this match would be 10 times better in any other company. They both did their WWE style, and so I mean there's some stuff missing, but there was some cool athletic stuff too. So one thing that kind of made me happy is that the club and the Judgment Day extras, they all beat each other up and left the ring kind of near the beginning of the match, right? So we weren't going to get a ton of interference, luckily.
Which is a good way to get out of having the interference, right? I mean, just have them eliminate each other.
Yeah.
Rather than having the ref kick them out, or there's other ways to do it, but that was fine.
I would love to see a video of them brawling back into the locker room and then be like, all right, are we still on camera? No, and then they just stop and, sit down.
They go get cereal together at catering.
Go to catering, exactly. So Balor goes up for the coup de grace near the end there. He misses it. AJ puts the calf crusher on him. Finn slams AJ's head into the mat to break up the submission. They trade shots. AJ hits the phenomenal forearm. I was sure this was going to be a near fall, and it was not. He beat him.
Yeah.
He beat Finn Balor. So big win.
Kind of sudden.
Yeah, pretty big win for AJ. This feud is maybe over, I think. We'll see what Judgment Day is going to get into. We got Edge possibly coming back, and he's got to pay back the Judgment Day for what they did to his wife.
And Carl Anderson's probably got to get a hop on a plane pretty soon to defend that never openweight title.
Never openweight champion. Is this the first never openweight champion on a WWE show as he was champion?
Well, current. I would hope so.
I haven't seen Shibata.
I still want him to come out with that belt. I want to hear Michael Cole explain to me what it is.
The NJPW never openweight champion, Carl. Yeah. Hey, yeah, have him
never
explain what never means.
Something that's I want him to explain exactly, and I want him to talk about the lineage of the title, everything. It used to be for younger wrestlers. I would just love him and just confuse the audience as much as humanly possible with what that thing is.
Yeah, I'm trying to find what it actually was supposed to mean, but no. Okay.
Well, the never
New
just
blood,
means
evolution, valiantly, eternal, and radical.
It was an under 30 title for a minute, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. It was supposed to be a younger. I'm reading the wiki.
The whole idea is that any weight class can challenge for it. I think there's no. Yeah, that's the whole open weight concept.
I will say I'm reading the Wikipedia on this, and it's pretty good. It says it was planned to be only defended at never events for the younger wrestlers.
That's a never event.
Well, exactly. For younger wrestlers, But instead, because of Shibata, Togi Makabe, and Tomohiro Ishii, it has become known for its gritty and hard-hitting matches. So,
see, that would be something they can mention, but
no, they're not a good.
I don't
New
think
Japan works with
watching,
AEW.
Yeah, slowly but sure. Right now, for now,
they would mention Noah before they would mention New Japan. Although if you go through that,
they've been mentioning the Bullet Club.
Really?
When they talk about
they say that
when word? when they were mentioning AJ Styles and Finn Balor's past, they mentioned the Bullet Club, and they mentioned the OC being in the Bullet Club too.
And did they mention the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega?
I don't think they took it that far, but
of course they're not.
They said Bullet Club.
They're not talking about Jay White on WWE yet.
No, and they're talking about the Tokyo Pimps or anything like that.
All right, so we had a break after that. Again, just to finalize, you thought it was really good match. I thought it was good.
It's good. Yeah, good.
Say it's like something I would see on Dynamite, maybe.
I mean, it's something where the two of them could probably give them 5-10 more minutes. They could have done a lot better, but.
Yeah, and you could also tell them, guys, you can do more chops and forearms and...
for a mid-card WWE pay-per-view match,
yeah,
it was good.
I miss when AJ was beating fucking...
John Cena?
No, the guy that was like never supposed to hold the championship that I don't even remember his name. He's such a jobber. Anyways.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal, yeah, I miss that. But we had another break... which reminded me of how hard these papers. This is when I texted you and I was like, "This show's gonna go so long." Because
I was like, "Nah, they're shorter now." But I mean, it's a WWE pay per view, so
with the commercials,
10-minute match, 12-minute package.
The commercials I'm like, oh god, here we go. But you were right. It was like only a few matches left. After this, we had Shotzi versus Ronda. Why don't you talk about how you felt about this one?
I had no idea it was happening. I just saw the graphic and went, oh, okay. I love Shotzi Blackheart. Or is she just Shotzi now? I don't know. Just used to see her a lot in, bar wrestling out here when that was a thing. So she was kind of local to doing a lot of indie stuff around here. Really good
She's
look.
From California?
I think so. She's got the tattoos, kind of the horror movie kind of fan. She's got like kind of the tank and all that stuff. She's really reckless in the ring, which just kind of adds to her charm to me. Way better as a babyface than a heel, in my opinion.
I don't think she's ever played a heel in WWE.
I don't think so, but she's someone that can host like a Sven Gulli type show or horror movie marathon.
Well, maybe you say that because she's already hosted Halloween Havoc twice.
Yeah, but I thought it was kind of a good little underdog thing with Ronda Rousey.
You liked the match?
Tired. It was okay. I mean, I'm just kind of tired of Ronda Rousey. I don't like her.
I'm sorry. I'm not a fan either. I don't like to say the term charisma vacuum too often, and she's not, but it's like kind of approaching that where it's just
I feel like Shayna Baszler should be in her spot.
Yeah, well, Shayna Baszler ain't going to sell as many tickets as Ronda Rousey, but
I understand that, but I'm just saying she's way more talented, and I hate to say believable, and I just Ronda Rousey just seems kind of phony to me.
Well, and the thing, too, about Ronda is, Ronda is nowhere near as big as she was, 5 years ago. Not even close anymore.
Of course not, yeah.
But, she made...
I mean, she's getting booed. She's a heel now, right?
She's a heel, and she's better as a heel, because she even when she's a babyface, she just makes this, resting bitch face, but angry.
Yeah.
And she's not a good promo. She's just always angry. And
the eye makeup is just not a good presentation for her. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan either. And I like you. I like Shotzi. Honestly, I don't think she's the best wrestler, but I first saw her in Defy actually, and I thought she was cool. green's my favorite color. She's got the green. She's Filipino, which is really cool to me.
Right, yeah.
You know, she's pretty cool. And so it was kind of weird that she got a title shot here. I'm not really sure. You know, maybe Triple H saw something in her and he wants to give her a chance, which is cool. Sometimes you need to get those.
Please do.
Sometimes you need these title matches where you know who's going to win, but it elevates the person in the match. So.
Right, and I think it did its job with that. It was pretty quick and kind of predictable, but it worked, and hopefully, I mean, I think Shotzi, I thought she was a little younger, but she's about 30, so I think now's the time to get her going, so go for it.
Did you see the DDT on the apron attempt? Because that was real bad.
Who was trying to attempt it? No, I missed that one.
Shotzi was trying to attempt it onto Ronda,
we talked about she's
fucked it up pretty bad.
And I know Shotzi, sometimes you see her throw someone, you know, when she does like a splash or something, she just looks like she's going to hurt either herself or the other person, you know, but it adds to her charm, the kind of recklessness she goes off with. She's going to kill somebody one day. I kind of
blame Ronda a bit more in this one because, like, when you see someone like Ishii get DDT'd, right, the dude knows how to do the handstand with his elbows where, like, he gets spiked. And it looked like she DDT'd Ronda and she couldn't do that, and so Ronda just, like, instead of taking the bump, she just, like, didn't, you know, which is kind of like made Shotzi look like she fucked the announcers didn't know what to say. They pulled they both got the worst of that, you know. They don't know what to say.
Right, or he didn't get all of that. Yeah, well, you know, it's just, I'm not a big fan of the MMA people being involved in pro wrestling in general.
Are you kidding me, bro? Brock Lesnar.
I know, and I'm not a huge fan of Brock. But, like, you know, going back to, like, the Ken Shamrock and, you know, Dan Severn kind of age. It just doesn't feel right to me, usually. And
well, you don't like Bobby Lashley?
Well, wasn't he a wrestler first, though?
I don't know. Well, he was probably an amateur wrestler first.
And the short answer is I'm not the hugest fan of Bobby Lashley either, so maybe not. I just feel like a lot of those guys lack charisma and the feel for it, you know? And it's funny because that first match we saw Ronda Rousey in was with that mixed tag with Kurt Angle and was it Stephanie and Triple H? Remember that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
She's never been for that WrestleMania. Good. It was arguably the best match on the card for that WrestleMania, believe it or not. I just never thought she had the personality or the charisma to be, you know, or really the look to be in WWE. So
I will still never forget when. Yeah, well, I'm gonna bring up Minoru Suzuki though, who started as a MMA fighter. Though I got to bring him up. I guess you don't like him either, huh?
Sure. No, I don't say that. He'll kill me.
So, I want to say this, though. I will never forgive Ronda for...
In North American wrestling, let's put it that way.
Okay. I'll never forgive Ronda for ruining Becky Lynch. Not ruining, but, like, they had that WrestleMania main event, and she pulled her shoulder up at the finish. Like, why would you do that? I don't know. It was like one of the all-time worst mess ups I've ever seen. Like, you pull your shoulder at the finish of WrestleMania main event.
When she did start, she didn't just plan to be a part-timer. She did dedicate herself, and she was doing house shows and all that stuff, and she was working a full schedule. So I'll give her credit for that.
Her best match ever was The Rock and her versus Triple H and Stephanie at WrestleMania when they...
That wasn't The Rock, though. Oh, you mean that little tease?
Yes, that was her best match ever. It wasn't a match, but...
best appearance.
Anyways, talk for a second while I cough.
Yeah, get that out. No, yeah, I think you're talking about that. Was it WrestleMania 31?
This is the one in up in
San Francisco,
or around there. But yeah,
right.
So okay, next we had a. By the way, we didn't say this. Ronda won. She hit
armbar tap out. Yeah,
she hit her with the Piper's Pit, armbar, Shotzi taps, and not sure what to think of this match. We get a break. We get a Cody promo video to remind us that he is still in WWE. Do you got him to win the Royal Rumble and come back? That's kind of my guy right now to come back and win the Royal Rumble.
Oh, I mean, he's got to be the favorite.
Yeah, like
the timeline works out too. So
yeah. So there's our quick prediction there. We'll probably do a show for the next Royal Rumble. We always watch the Royal Rumble. So okay, Sami Zayn. Now more of the Uso story here. We had Sami Zayn meeting with Roman. He admits that he lied to Jay, and Roman intimidated Sami and asked if he's with the Bloodline or if he's going to stab them in the back. Sami says that he's with them. Maybe I'm reading too deep into this, but Sami also looked away from Roman a good few times. So I don't know if I'm over, reading this, but then when Roman hugged Sami, Roman made the scariest face, dude. He looked pissed. So, or not even pissed. He looked.
I gotta watch out. Yeah, just he looked like I don't know if I trust him. Kind of like.
Yeah, I love the subtlety there. That's stuff that you never saw in WWE. That's more like AEW stuff. The subtlety in this storyline is so great. And it's a storyline that's ongoing, too, as we will soon find out.
Definitely.
So, next up, we had a match. I'll talk about it real quick. This was Lashley, Rollins, and Austin Theory. I thought this match was great. What'd you think?
No, it was really good. Really, really good. And as much as people don't like Austin Theory, and I'm kind of one of them, he's pretty good.
I like Austin Theory. I saw after I saw him live, man, he convinced me. I think the guy can go. He had a match with Rey Mysterio. Although that's kind of hard to fuck up, but when I saw him, and he was awesome. And they gave him a character change recently. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, he's got the beard now, which I think he looks way less,
He looks
like
a little older and more serious. Stop. Well, he cashed in and he failed too. So
it's on the U.S. title, which was really dumb.
Well, he said I can't beat Roman Reigns, basically. So, and he's probably right. But after he cashed in, he started getting way more violent and giving people a lot more reason to boo him. So I think it was a character change for the better here.
No, and I think that's one of those things where, Triple H is like, I gotta figure out what we're gonna do with this guy, and he's like, you're gonna cash in and fail, you're gonna grow your beard out, and you're gonna, you know what I mean, and you give people a reason to boo you outside of just being annoyed by you, and he's doing that.
Exactly, because that's what he was. He had the selfies and the selfie stuff, and it was it was kind of an annoying character, and now he has become like. It's like much more legit. Like you're like, okay, no, he actually wants to beat up people. He's not just a fucking character. This match, man, there were some great spots in this match. Seth Rollins.
And let's just say that Seth Rollins is top 20, top 15 best wrestlers in the world. He's definitely probably the best wrestler in WWE.
Well, I've not really been a Seth Rollins fan for many years. I think that his characters have been misguided. Even in ring, I haven't really loved this stuff. And we've had arguments over our podcast about this, and you've told me, like, well, for WWE and stuff. I will say this match, he was amazing.
I'm
really watching him. I'm like, and as you said, Justin, he belongs up there. His athleticism, putting together matches, because I'm pretty sure he kind of had a lot to say in this match. Maybe I'm wrong, but
his timing's always been great. His athleticism. Bobby's kind of a stiff, but they used him right in this match, and that when he did the curb stomp where he used Theory as kind of the springboard onto, and that was just really well done.
It looked awesome. The slow-mo looked awesome. Bobby sold it perfectly. Just great, man. And, it's kind of like becoming almost like the RKO where it's like this curb stomp, he can do it from all these crazy ways, It's like you never know when it's going to come. So one spot I loved where he did 3 dives, 3 in a row, and then did the tope con hilo perfectly. It looked like, it reminded me of old Kenny Omega just flipping over the top rope. Awesome spot. Lashley this spot was weird. He put the hurt lock on both of them. It's like that. In theory, it's cool, but it doesn't. No pun. But in theory, it's cool, but it doesn't actually work. You know what I'm saying? Like, no way that the guy in back is in the hurt lock.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There's definitely a little less believability there for sure.
To an audience, though, it probably looked pretty good. Rollins,
it was cool.
Rollins goes for a Phoenix Splash. It looked great, by the way.
He does a very clean one of those for sure.
And he slammed Lashley. Theory threw Rollins out of the ring, and he went for the A-Town down on Lashley. Lashley put Theory in the hurt lock. This was hard to type this stuff out, you know what I'm saying? Everything was bang, bang. Theory reverses it and pins Lashley. Seth breaks it up. Seth pins Lashley for a great near fall. Let's see, all sorts of stuff happening now. All three went down. Seth used what did I write down here? Seth used Theory and did the curb stomp on Lashley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Seth, okay. Theory got involved later. Seth took him to the top rope, gave him a superplex, and then rolled him up for a Falcon Arrow. Another great, but that looked great too, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's a shame we'll never see Seth and Kenny and Seth and Will Ospreay.
Yeah, we probably won't, because he's probably a WWE lifer. And why wouldn't he be?
No, I mean, I think in the next couple of years they're going to put him. I mean, who knows? He could win the Royal Rumble too. He'd be one of the outside top 3 or 4 guys that should win that thing outside of Cody, right?
I still think he's slotted below Cody.
No, for sure. But I'm just saying, below Cody, he's one of them.
He is one of them. Last time he won the Royal Rumble, it was not the most exciting thing in the world. Again, like, this guy is, as you say, he's so good in ring. I think it's his character work that gets him people like me who are like, I'm not into it. It's like, what is he?
I think, and it's weird because, like, his best character was probably...
We both agree.
His worst is that swarmy, scared shitless heel.
And he was like clearly a prick.
Yes, but the thing about that was it wasn't the best thing for his in-ring talent. So the best character he had didn't match up with his in-ring talent, right? Because you can't be that swarmy chicken shit and then have all those great offensive moves and be that talent. You know what I mean?
I disagree. I've seen Will Ospreay do it.
Right, but Will Ospreay's never been the chicken shit heel like that.
He's been a prick though, and I just
that's different, completely different element.
Yes, you're not. Yes, if you're the Jay White, run away and then get back in the ring, then run away and stuff like that. Yeah. It's different, but you
have to be a different style in ring when you do that. Like Jay White can, and the Miz and all that kind of stuff. They have that kind of style where they're gonna jump out of the ring and dust off for a minute and do the psychological stuff, especially Jay White, because that's what their personality has to match with the. You can't be a chicken shit heel and then all of a sudden not be scared of anyone in the ring.
Well, it's not like he would be doing space flying tiger drops and stuff if he was just a heel. I think he could be a heel, still do this cool stuff and be impressive.
No, he can, and that's what he's kind of doing now with the suits and all that stuff and the laugh. Yeah. It's just that
he kind of is a tweener, like you said. I'm just not a fan of the whole laugh and the look.
He has a very, like... His voice has always been a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's grating. His voice is kind of grating. But it's
just that he's always had a really tough delivery with his voice. Doesn't sound like a tough guy. Doesn't sound like a weak guy.
He sounds like a chicken shit heel, bro. That's why.
Yeah. He was so good. Hey, he brought some of the blonde hair back.
I know. I love that. He did that like a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh yes, he did it."
Yeah.
So maybe he knows what's up. So but he put him up for the Falcon Arrow, and he got an awkward spear by Lashley, which wasn't really. I thought he was going to schoolboy him. It was really weird, but Theory fell right on top of him and pinned him. Best match of the night so far up to that point. Really great match. Maybe one of my favorite Seth Rollins matches. He's really good in 3-ways, by the way. I just remembered that.
Oh, yeah. We always talked about, like, I think the best WWE match since I started watching again was
Cena, Lesnar, and him, right?
Yeah, at the Royal Rumble 2015, I think it was, or 2016, 2014, one of those.
That was incredible.
2015. That was probably the best WWE match in the last 15 years.
Well, yeah, just real good stuff. He's making a fan out of me eventually, man.
Well, welcome to the club.
He's gonna do it eventually, unlike Bray Wyatt, who did not show up tonight at all. One of their big stars, just nothing.
That's true. I guess there wasn't a spot for him yet. I'm sure we'll find something.
Well, they got to tell that story more too. They got their guy that runs long-term storylines now. So,
right.
So
was it Eli Drake? Wasn't involved either, or did he already beat him? I saw they had a little angle.
I think they're feuding right now, maybe.
Okay.
So, it's LA Knight, by the way.
Random. LA Knight. Oh, he's good too. I like him, but it's just kind of a random thing to put him in.
Yeah, he's good too. Well, it's your first guy that you're going to beat from the comeback. So, watch LA Knight beats him, and that would be the worst booking ever. As much as I like Eli Drake. All right, so finally we get to the men's War Games match. What do you think in general?
I mean, the only little nitpick I'd have it was just kind of a Maj Posh team on the other side. But
what, the Brutes?
I thought it worked out. Yeah, I mean,
they both just
Kevin
had
Owens,
one extra
Drew
guy,
Galloway.
kind of, right?
They all had their reasons, right, to be involved in a match like that. But this story just had a wonderfully woven. This is like kind of the WWE kind of peak style, right? This is the argument for the WWE style of pro wrestling, right? Is having those storylines that carry through a match and, in the weeks leading up, right?
This is
a perfect kind of
stories like this are far and few between in the WWE.
Right.
This story is captivating.
This is peak WWE style booking. This is WWE style booking at its best, right? In terms of storylines and, kind of the cheesy, I don't trust you kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would say that. It's highly story-based. It's the story is what's on TV. It's not a story of who wins what matches. It's an actual like soap opera style story of relationships.
This is when, as much as that stuff misses, right? This is an example of when it's really, really good, right?
Yeah,
and it works.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, and you're right. We go back to like, Owen Hart and Bret Hart. I don't want to face my brother type of stuff, and that
or Kane and Undertaker, that kind of stuff. So so right then and there, you're just like, okay, when's Sami going to be angled with Kevin Owens? When's Sami Zayn going to be angled with, was it Jimmy Uso, right?
Yeah, it's just in general, what is going to happen? We have no clue. I mean, the story really here is between four guys. It's between Roman, Jay, Sami, and Kevin Owens, right? Those are like the four main players right now. And you could have gone a lot of different ways tonight, right? I mean, you could have had Sami turn on the bloodline, although after the vignettes before, it's like, maybe not. That would have made him kind of an asshole. I think the fans love that he's loyal, That's a huge part of why. And Sami's always been, I mean, for years, or for a while, he was one of the best baby faces in WWE back in the day. And now it's like, through all this nonsense, it's like he's becoming like one of the most beloved people again. Which is crazy, but it's awesome.
So, you also had the way that it ended things. You still have a little doubt or, a way to continue it. It wasn't as... You also could have gone with, Jey Uso was going to be put through a table, but Sami pushes him out of the way and takes the move himself and loses. that he could have sacrificed himself.
Oh yeah.
That could have been a way to do it as well. There was a lot of ways they did it, and I think the way they did it was really good. And
there were kind of a few people thinking that they were gonna. It wouldn't be a hot shot, but that they were gonna push it tonight, and that we were gonna see Sami and KO become tag team, and they would beat the Usos. I think they're gonna push this thing until WrestleMania, dude. With what happened tonight.
Yeah, and you could have. It was just a little subtleties. Instead of just breaking up the pin, he grabs the referee's arm.
Yeah, exactly.
That was just a little different. He went for the low blow, and he did look like he felt a little guilty afterwards. And I thought, the hug was like just a great moment at the end, right?
He might have felt a little guilty, but his loyalty, which the fans love, was the thing. He is loyal. He's it's that friend that everyone wants to have, right? It almost I mean, you compare, one of the biggest things in wrestling is like having a character that everyone can relate to, and you can relate to that, having friends and being pulled one direction or the other, but sticking with your guns, right? People love that. Yeah. And by the way, we didn't mention,
I thought you were about to cry for a second there.
I was actually.
No, but and then also I think people like the story of an outsider being accepted into some other place.
That's absolutely. We've got universals going on here. So really,
someone that's not a part of a certain neighborhood or area being accepted is, I don't know what the reason is for that, but there is that makes everyone feel good.
No, I totally agree. This is peak WWE storytelling right now. And by the way, for those listening, spoiler here, the Bloodline won. Let's go through it real quick. Jay and Butch started the match. Pretty good opening battle. Actually, they had Jay and Butch actually had a pretty damn good opener.
They did.
Butch doing all his finger break, small joint manipulation, quote unquote, spots.
Jay's got a lot of that stuff in.
Yeah, good stuff. Ridge Holland joins. He actually looked. Actually, everyone looked good in this match. Ridge Holland looked good. They ran roughshod on Jay. Jimmy was supposed to come out, but Reigns tells Sami to go out instead. So I guess you can just choose who goes out. I thought it was like predetermined.
No, I think the only thing predetermined is the rotation, right? And it was weird
why
that
does their
they
music
put the
hit?
Well, because they just time it when the guy walks out.
Okay, we'll call it that.
But the only thing predetermined, which was weird, you took an angle where supposedly the heel team was the one that was put at the disadvantage throughout the night. That has never happened with a War Games match.
Yeah, it has. It has. I remember a few years ago because they were like, why the fuck would the babyfaces get the advantage?
Well, I guess that's just from the Horsemen and Dusty Rhodes' team era.
Logically, you'd always want the babyfaces to be at a disadvantage, right?
Right.
So,
you have to overcome it.
Bloodline, not necessarily the bad guys here, though. They're kind of like both love. They are. People like both teams. So, I mean,
yeah.
Roman is like the actually evil one. The other guys are just, kind of. But, yeah, so let's see. Sami comes in, and Sami actually saved Jay here. So we have an early Sami saving Jay.
Pull him out of the way, yeah.
Beating up Ridge while Butch took a nap. Sami saves Jay again in another spot, and then Jay saves Sami from Butch. So they're forming some better rapport there, and they're trying to work together. I also wanted to say Kevin Owens looks fucking tiny compared to Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, and he came out with the jeans and stuff, which was kind of an ode to Dusty.
Was it jeans or joggers?
I think he was wearing legit jeans.
Okay.
And sneakers instead of the cowboy boots, but he was coming out there kind of being like Dusty Rhodes in a, what do you call it? Not War Games necessarily, Bunkhouse Stampede or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that was...
He had a Dusty shirt on, too, if I remember correctly as well.
Oh, okay. I like it. Okay, so we had Where is it? Kevin. Well, I kind of. Okay, Jimmy came in next. He grabbed 3 tables, so to appease the crowd, of course. He was way ahead of it. So Jay and Sami are arguing about. Oh yeah, okay. Jay and Sami got in an argument of who could pull the table up.
Right.
So some dissension there. Jimmy gets in the middle of them. They're wasting time. He splits them up, and Roman. They show Roman, and he looks just so pissed.
And he has a chair. He's the only one with a chair sitting in the cage. So I thought it was hilarious and great.
Good on you for noticing that. True. He's Roman Reigns is pretty damn good too. Damn good. Yeah. The bloodline setup. I want to say this. Like I've been noticing lately, facials with wrestlers. I was looking at William Regal, who has just the most incredible faces.
Oh yeah, sure.
And of course you have Suzuki, who has like the most incredible faces. Roman has some amazing faces too. Just his looks, he goes from pissed to he has looks from pissed to calm to he has
$1 million friendly smile, and then he has an evil just stare, right?
It's evil stare, like you said, but real handsome guy too, so it all works out.
That helps.
The bloodline sets up the corner in the table. Kevin Owens comes in. I said wearing joggers, but maybe jeans, probably jeans. And he came in with a few chairs, beat up the Usos, looked great. KO. He squared up with Sami, but Ridge beats Sami up, and we that was a little tease for later.
Yeah, it was.
So, table 1 was destroyed when Owens smashed Jimmy through it, and Solo Sikoa comes in now. I gotta tell you, dude, so like a few months ago, I was watching NXT on YouTube, and someone posted, this Solo Sikoa guy is gonna be Intercontinental Champ before you know it, and I responded, I was like, dude, he just started at NXT. Why the fuck do you say something like that? Well, looks like that guy was probably more right than me, because this Solo Sikoa guy looks pretty damn good, and he's in main roster.
Yeah, I thought that was a no-brainer. As soon as you see him and you look at him, you're like, he looks like an Uso, just get him up there. I mean, it wasn't like he just belongs there just because he looks exactly like one of his twin brothers.
He looks like him. At the same time, he's got his own unique style and gear, too. He doesn't wrestle like them. I love that. He's got the, like, Muay Thai kind of look.
Almost like, what's it, Umaga, kind of, with the bare feet, too.
The wrapped feet. I love that.
He's like a savage Uso,
Did you listen to the We Watch Wrestling a couple weeks ago when they talked about why Jacob Fatu will not be in the WWE? By the way,
I did. Yes, he had some kind of a
legal. He had a burglary charge when he was a kid.
Yeah, but isn't I like remember listening to that? But there's some people that have been in trouble on WWE roster, isn't there?
Burglary.
I don't know if anyone's been to prison.
That's a felony, dude.
Well, Booker T went to prison.
Didn't Prime Time go to prison too?
That was their whole gimmick. Yeah. But maybe it's just these days they're trying to avoid it. I don't know.
Yeah, trying to avoid it before it gets out. I mean, look, they fined Lars, whatever his name is, for saying racist shit back in the day. So, I mean, if you end up having a burglary, what would they, it's a weird one. So, anyway, Solo looks really good. He comes out. Him and Kevin Owens have a great battle in the middle of the rings. Solo backdrops Owens right on the steel, which was cool.
I love that steel in the middle.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that too, the pleated steel. Sheamus enters. Sami Zayn closes the door and doesn't want Sheamus to come in, but Sheamus, of course, the leader of the Brawling Brutes, slammed the door on his face, and the Brutes pinned the Bloodline against the cage and beat on them, which was kind of cool. I have here Solo Sikoa looking really good. Looks good. Sheamus takes Sikoa up and gives him a super white noise. Lots of notes here.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Let's try to get it. Roman walks around and gives all the Brutes an uppercut when he came in. Okay, Roman's in now. He gave them all uppercuts and Superman punch, just ran all over him. And then we had a reversals and we got a team 10 beats of the Baron. What'd you think of that spot?
I thought that was pretty cool, actually.
I liked it.
There was a part of me too when Roman was walking up there. What if Roman just says, "I'm not getting in this match. They're gonna figure out their stuff on their own," or walks in
That'd
and
be
just
mean,
leaves and
dude.
says, "You got." That would, like you talked about, like everyone loves the bloodline, but maybe Roman's the evil one, right? It would have been a perfect way to communicate that.
Well,
He wants them to figure it out for their own.
he is playing a heel, but I don't think he's a heel to that level. Well, that's like an MJF style. Just fuck it, I'm gone.
Yeah,
but
he came in. Yeah, the beats the Bowery. That was pretty cool.
Boundary?
Bowery, something.
I used to think it was 10 beats of the Baron, but it's like it's
definitely not
Irish.
that.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that spot. I said kind of cool, but a little cheesy, but cool. Sometimes cheesy's good in these type of matches.
Well, especially when the match is official and they're all just happen to be lined up in each ring and facing each other, right?
And Sheamus did like 20-something beats of the band, so he really wanted to hurt Roman. Roman and Sheamus, the team leaders, they kind of were going at each other for a lot of the end of the match. Roman and Sheamus, maybe a match in the future. I'd love to see that title match, to be honest.
I mean, they have the history to make it happen. I don't see any reason why it can't be one of those filler pay-per-views.
Exactly.
In December or January, like before the Royal Rumble, why not? Little filler defense.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's going to be going against Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, so I don't know. Hopefully it's
Sheamus or Kevin Owens, I guess.
Kevin Owens, that'd probably be it. Hopefully it's not Brock Lesnar. And hopefully Brock Lesnar's not in the Royal Rumble and doesn't win the Royal Rumble either.
We'll see.
That'd be cool if he was in it and got eliminated. Okay, Sheamus kicks Sikoa and Roman spears Sheamus for a near fall, which Butch broke up. Now here's where the real storyline stuff starts. Jay accidentally super kicked Sami. When you saw that, were you like, oh, jeez?
I kind of thought the botch would come on the other end. Like Sami would accidentally give the hell of a kick to him or something.
Oh, that would be bad. That would be way worse if that happened.
Yeah, so I thought something like that might happen with the miscommunication. But then after he did it, he kind of looked like fine. I knocked him out.
So that was the thing. Jay was not apologetic for that.
No.
Yeah, which kind of.
And Jimmy went to check on him and all that stuff,
Yeah, Jimmy is the nice guy, dude. He's the good guy in all this. Usos do the 1D on Butch and Ridge. Great near fall here. Ridge broke it up. Roman spears Ridge through the table. Didn't have the energy to pin him. That was interesting. Solo Sikoa does the Uranagi, as it's called, the spinning solo to McIntyre through the table. And
that was a pretty cool spot. That
was a cool spot. And then Kevin Owens hits a stunner on Solo. This is where the match really started. I was like, okay, this is awesome. I didn't chant it, but I thought it. Reigns pulls Kevin Owens off the pin and squares up with Owens. Kevin Owens super kicks Roman and hits the pop-up power bomb, his old finish. And then he hits the stunner on Roman. And this was where it's this is the biggest near fall, right? When he hit the stunner on Roman. And then, as you said, Sami pulled the ref off. So,
or just grabbed his hand.
He
didn't even pull the ref. He didn't. Usually the guy just hits the other guy in the back, and but they went a step further and they had him pull the referee's arm up as he was counting to 3, and you just get that look on his face, and it was just really well done.
We were getting Sami Uso chants at this point
throughout the whole match, and it was great.
Yep. So we're at the pinnacle of the match here. Kevin Owens and Sami look at each other, and Sami says to Kevin, "It's family. This is family." And he got him turned around. He hit the low blow on KO to a mix of probably a lot of mostly cheers and some boos. People like Kevin Owens though, and he seemed like he felt terrible about it, but finally he went in the corner, and we both knew what was coming. The Helluva Kick. I call it the hell of a kick. I don't know why they call it the Helluva Kick, but
maybe they're just trying not to say hell. I don't know.
Yeah, he hits the hell of a kick on Owens, and then he does not pin him. He offered him to Jay.
And Jay hit the splash for the 1, 2, 3. And also, you had Kevin holding up Roman during that little spot saying, is this your family, your tribal chief or whatever? And then earlier in the match, you had kind of when Roman first came in and he was, telling Pete Dunne or whatever his name is now, like,
Butch.
That's, who you're disrespecting right now? That's the tribal chief or whatever kind of stuff. It was just really like subtle signs of his, quote unquote loyalty, right?
Yeah, totally. I'm on the wrestling news website, and one of the there's a picture of Sammy hugging Roman, and the headline is "Sammy remains loyal to the bloodline." So great match at the finish there. Pretty good show. The last two matches were, I think it was the last two, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Those were great. So, yeah. Hunter is doing some good stuff here. And we kind of gave our overview of the show. Good show.
Definitely. And, I guess the Royal Rumble's next. Or next big show.
December. I think they got a show in December. At least we're not getting, like, Roadblock and shit like that.
Well, it's definitely going to be some kind of in-your-house filler pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
Wrecking Ball or, Hand Grenade or something like that.
Oh, no, you're right. It is the Royal Rumble. That's their next one.
Oh, really? They're not doing December pay-per-view?
They canceled,
don't they do a New Year's?
They canceled day one.
Oh.
So it says after Survivor Series, their next pay-per-view will be January 28th. They might be, this is weird, but they might be taking a couple months off. I don't see that happening. So we'll see what happens. They got a big show in Montreal coming up. I know that. Jimmy Uso is not allowed in Montreal, I believe.
Because of his numerous DUIs?
Yeah. So, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Very interesting, though. Quick note, on Friday, they're doing the SmackDown World Cup Final, and it's just a tournament, right? And it's going to be Ricochet versus Santos Escobar, so that will probably be pretty awesome.
That's the final?
That's the final. So this could be the first legit push for Ricochet.
We'll see.
Ricochet beat Braun Strowman in this tournament.
Oh, so, okay. Good.
Pretty exciting there, but...
no Braun Strowman on the show at all, right?
No Braun Strowman on the show. No Omos, thank God.
He probably had a few more spot shows with Control Your Narrative that he had to fulfill first.
Yeah. No EC3 on the show tonight. So, yeah.
No.
Actually, they kept a lot of bullshit off the show. No Miz, no...
Miz had a
little promo video
for a show or something.
It was actually a commercial for their angle.
With
they mentioned Miz and Mrs., but he was like, oh, I've done my show, I've done this, I've done that, and then no
Baron Corbin. There's a lot of guys missing. I mean, this is your new and improved, pay-per-view model.
No Nakamura, but he's getting ready to go to Japan, and we're definitely going to talk about that match.
Heck yeah.
So, on a side note here, real quick, before we get out of here, too, they did announce a second Wrestle Kingdom night in Yokohama. So,
right. Like late January, though, right?
Later in January. Now, didn't they do this last year with the big Noah crossover?
I think so, but that was it was like still within a few days of the main show, right?
I don't think, maybe.
It wasn't 2 weeks later.
I don't remember. Let me see. NJPW versus Noah. That was Wrestle Kingdom Night 3. They called it. This is kind of ridiculous, but yeah, you're right. Okay, it was January 8th. Yeah. So
yeah, it wasn't 2 weeks later for sure.
yeah. So yeah, we got that. We'll talk about that more. God, we got Wrestle Kingdom coming up, man. Got a lot of stuff to talk about the next few months here. So we hope you guys
we're getting to it. Wrestle Kingdom season is approaching. Royal Rumble season.
Royal Rumble, yeah, pretty cool stuff. And we got Revolution in February. So exciting next couple months here. And in between that, we will keep you guys informed. Justin has just left the room for some reason. And it looks like he's out of the podcast, but that's okay because we can finish this thing right now. And we appreciate you guys for listening so much. We are at Wrestling and Pod on Instagram and Twitter. I'm John Ensman. He is Justin at In-Ring Art. We really appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for more stuff from us. We will see you guys later.
I just left the channel on accident. I just I X'd out on it. I tried to open a new tab, and I just tried to open a new tab and I accidentally closed the one I was in, so that's why you lost me. Sorry.